how to make my no-bake Biscoff cheesecake, my most popular recipe ever. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I'm making my most famous recipe of them all, which is the Biscoff cheesecake. Honestly, since I've posted this, the views on this blog post are millions ahead of anything else. It is ridiculous. The Biscoff cheesecake cult is a real thing and I'm definitely a part of it because I'm equally as obsessed. So I thought today I would make the most popular recipe of them all and make you my no-bake Biscoff cheesecake. So the obvious start to this recipe is to use the Biscoff biscuits for the base. It is slightly over one packet, I will admit, so I've got some extras. But if you want to make it with one packet, you can just reduce the butter down ever so slightly. But when it comes to the butter, you can use baking spread or block butter. Just make sure it's melted down nicely until runny, and then it's easier to combine later on. So here I have some full fat soft cream cheese. You can use mascarpone as well, Philadelphia, any supermarket owned one, as long as it's full fat. We then have some double cream. Make sure to use your fattiest liquid cream that you have because anything lower might make the cheesecake not set. Then we have some icing sugar for the sweetness. I prefer this to cast sugar because it prevents leaving a grainy texture. We have a little bit of vanilla extract as always because I adore the sweetness. And then of course the classic, the Biscoff spread. You can't make a Biscoff cheesecake without Biscoff spread. When you're making no-bake cheesecake, it is pretty classic about what you do. So I start by making my biscuit base. I do this in the food processor, but you can do it in a bowl with a rolling pin. Just make sure your biscuits are a super fine crumb before you mix in the butter. Then you can press it into the base of your 8-inch springform tin. I always use the same one, so I'll link this in the description box below, but springform is easier to get the cheesecake out at the end. I'm just gonna add my biscuits to the food processor. I tend to find it easier to break them up slightly first, just to prevent any lumps. And then I'm just going to blitz these until a fine crumb. And then I'm just going to pour in my melted butter. And then I'm just going to blitz it again to combine. And then I'm just going to pour the biscuit base into my springform tin and press down firmly. I'm going to start by adding my full fat cream cheese to my bowl. Then I'm going to add my icing sugar, a little bit of vanilla extract, and then of course some Biscoff spread. I use smooth but crunchy also works. And then I'm just going to whisk these together until smooth and then add my cream. And then I add my double cream in liquid and whip it until thick, but you can whip the cream separately to stiff peaks and fold through. And there you have a beautifully thick cheesecake mix. You can see just how thick it is there. It's the perfect texture for the perfect set cheesecake. I then add most of my cheesecake mix to the base. And then I use the spatula to just press it into the sides of the tin like so to prevent any air bubbles on the edge. And then I just use the rest of the cheesecake mix to fill in the middle and I smooth it over. So now that the tin is full of the delicious cheesecake mix, I'm going to set it in the fridge overnight. The minimum is really 5 to 6 hours, so it's definitely a prep in the morning for a dessert in the evening type dessert. But overnight is always better because the longer it has to set, the better the set it will be. So I'm going to go set this in the fridge now, and then we can decorate and of course enjoy a giant slice of Biscoff cheesecake. So now that my cheesecake has set, it's time to decorate. As always, I have some double cream that I've whipped with a little bit of icing sugar to make it stabilize and sweeten, which I'm going to pipe on with a 2D closed style piping tip. I have some slightly melted Biscoff spread, and then of course some Biscoff biscuits, because why would we not? But either way, I'm going to get it out of the tin, smooth over the sides if it needs, and then decorate. Now I'm just drizzling over some melted Biscoff spread. And then piping on my whipped cream. And then I just add on a biscuit decoration for each slice. And finally, I just crush over another biscuit, kind of like a sprinkle for decoration. So that is how you make my no-bake Biscoff cheesecake. As I say, the most popular recipe on my blog, my personal favorite as well. I just want to devour every single bit of this cheesecake because it's utterly glorious. So make sure to check out the recipe in the description box below. I'll put a link to the method as always on the blog. Any useful bits like the tin, the piping bags, all of that I'll link below as well. And of course, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Any recipe requests for the videos, put them in the box below as well. And then, oh God, so many words to say. But anyway, come back next time for something else as utterly scrumptious as always. I'm just gonna go and enjoy a slice of this right now. Enjoy.